Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every innovation was built on a foundation of failures. The problem is that most people see failure as an ending rather than a lesson. They let it define them, discourage them, and stop them from moving forward. But failure is never final. Unless you choose to stop trying. Think about the most successful people in history. They weren't the ones who never failed. They were the ones who failed the most and kept going. They understood that failure is not a sign to quit. It is proof that they are pushing boundaries, taking risks, and daring to do something great. The lessons learned from failure are far more valuable than any success that comes easily. Each mistake teaches resilience. Each setback builds character, and each disappointment strengthens determination. The fear of failure holds more people back than failure itself. Many never even try because they are afraid of falling short. But the only real failure is giving up too soon. Every attempt, every rejection, every so-called loss is moving you forward, even if it doesn't feel like it at the moment. What you see as failure today may turn out to be the very experience that prepares you for success tomorrow. So don't be afraid to fail, embrace it, learn from it, let it shape you rather than break you. The most successful people are not the ones who never fall. They are the ones who rise every time they do. Keep going, keep believing, and never lose faith in yourself, because one day, when you finally succeed, you'll look back and realize that every failure was just another step leading you to victory. Rejection is painful. It stings, it shakes your confidence, and it makes you question everything. But rejection is not the end of the road. It is simply a test of how badly you want something. The truth is, every person who has achieved greatness has faced rejection, sometimes over and over again. The difference? They didn't let it define them. They didn't take it as a signal to stop. They took it as motivation to push forward. When one door closes, it's easy to think that you weren't good enough or that you don't deserve success. But rejection doesn't mean you lack potential. It doesn't mean your dreams are impossible. It simply means that this wasn't the right time or the right path. And sometimes what feels like a loss is actually a blessing in disguise, pushing you towards something even better than you imagined. The biggest mistake people make is letting rejection break their spirit. They hear no a few times and decide to give up. But what if they had held on just a little longer? What if the next opportunity was the one that would change everything? The most successful people in the world didn't get there because they were never rejected. They got there because they refused to let rejection stop them. They kept improving, kept showing up, and kept believing that their time would come. So when you face rejection, don't lose faith. Don't take it as a sign that you should quit. Take it as proof that you are in the game, that you are trying, that you are daring to do something meaningful. Learn from it, use it as fuel, and keep moving forward. Because the truth is, the people who keep going are the ones who eventually win. And one day, the very people who rejected you may look back and realize they missed out on something extraordinary. There are moments in life when nothing seems to make sense. You work hard, you make sacrifices, and yet the results don't match your efforts. You wonder why things aren't falling into place, why the struggles keep coming, and why the path ahead looks uncertain. It's in these moments that most people lose faith. They give up because they can't see where they're going. But just because you can't see the destination doesn't mean you aren't on the right path. Life is not meant to be understood in the moment. It unfolds like a puzzle where each piece seems random and disconnected, but one day you will look back and suddenly everything will make sense. You will see how every failure pushed you towards something better. You will realize that the setbacks weren't stopping you, they were guiding you. You will understand that the struggles weren't there to break you, but to prepare you for something greater. The most successful people in the world weren't handed a perfect roadmap. They faced obstacles, detours, and unexpected challenges. But they kept moving forward even when they didn't know exactly where they were going. They trusted that in the end, the dots would connect. And when they finally reached their success, they could look back and see that everything had happened for a reason. Right now, you may not see the bigger picture. You may be in a season of doubt, frustration, or confusion. But don't lose faith. Keep going, keep believing, and trust that one day you'll look back and understand why things happened the way they did. The future may be unclear now, but when the pieces finally come together, you'll realize that every challenge was leading you exactly where you were meant to be. The journey to success is not a straight path. It's not a smooth, easy road where everything falls into place without effort. It is messy, unpredictable, and filled with challenges. But here's the truth. Greatness does not come from a life without obstacles. It comes from those who push through, who keep going even when everything seems impossible. The people who change the world are not the ones who never face difficulties. They are the ones who keep believing in their vision no matter how many times they fall. Every challenge, every failure, every moment of doubt is part of the process. These are the moments that build resilience, sharpen determination, and shape your character. If you can keep moving forward, even when it seems like the world is against you, you will get to the other side stronger, wiser, and more capable. The most groundbreaking innovations, the biggest shifts in history were born from the perseverance of those who refuse to give up. You may be struggling right now. The world might seem like it's not giving you what you want, but remember, the greatest stories of success are the ones that came from the hardest struggles. Those who dared to continue, who believed in themselves when everyone else doubted them, were the ones who changed the world. And one day you'll look back at everything you've overcome, and you'll realize that all of it, the doubts, the failures, the rejections, was the foundation for your success. So when things get tough, when you feel like you can't go any further, don't lose faith. Trust in the process. Trust in yourself. Believe that this moment of struggle is just a step towards something bigger, something greater. Because in the end, the ones who never lose faith are the ones who make the impossible possible. And you too have the power to turn your struggles into success. Keep believing, keep pushing, and never stop moving forward. Because the world needs what you have to offer. In the face of adversity, when the road ahead feels uncertain and the weight of doubt bears down on you, remember this. Your journey is not defined by how many times you fall, but by how many times you rise. Each challenge, each failure, and each moment of rejection is not a signal to give up, but an invitation to keep going. Because when you don't lose faith, when you continue to believe in your vision, even when it feels impossible, you tap into an incredible power that transcends any obstacle. Faith is not about seeing the finish line. It's about believing that it's there, even when the path is obscured. The most successful people, the ones who change the world, are not those who avoid failure. They are those who embrace it, learn from it, and push forward with even greater resolve. They understand that success is not a linear journey, and it's the struggles, the setbacks, and the moments of doubt that ultimately prepare them for greatness. You are capable of achieving more than you can imagine, but that requires trust. Not just in the process, but in yourself. The road may be long, it may be difficult, and it may not always make sense, but keep going, keep believing, keep learning. Your persistence will lead you to places you never dreamed of, and when you look back, you will realize that every single moment, every failure, and every rejection was part of the extraordinary journey that made you who you are today. So whatever you're facing right now, don't lose faith. You are on the path to something greater. Stay true to your vision, believe in your ability to overcome, and keep pushing forward, because when you never lose faith, you open the door to endless possibilities. And when you finally reach that destination, you'll understand that the greatest reward was not the success itself, but the faith that carried you through every step of the way. Life has a strange way of connecting the dots. You may not always see the full picture, but trust that every experience, every challenge, and every failure is shaping your future in ways you cannot yet understand. The journey is unpredictable, filled with moments of doubt, fear, and frustration. But in those moments, when everything seems uncertain, the most powerful thing you can do is hold on to faith. There will be times when doors close, opportunities slip away, and the world tells you that you're not good enough. You might pour your heart into something only to watch it fall apart. You might take risks and fail. You might find yourself lost, questioning your purpose, wondering if all the effort is even worth it. But remember, some of the most successful, most influential, and most visionary people in history faced the same struggles. The difference, they didn't lose faith. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to believe that you're not meant to succeed. But sometimes, what feels like a setback is actually life redirecting you towards something greater. The moments of rejection, the failures, the disappointments, they are not the end of the road. They are just detours leading you to the place where you truly belong. Looking back, you'll realize that the dots always connect. That missed opportunity. It led you to something better. That failure, it taught you resilience. That unexpected change. It opened doors you never even knew existed. The only thing that can truly stop you is losing faith in yourself and the path ahead. Life often unfolds in ways we can't predict. We plan, we dream, we work hard, but sometimes things don't go the way we expect. The natural instinct is to question everything. Why did this happen? Why didn't it work out? Why am I facing this challenge? In those moments, doubt creeps in and faith begins to shake. But what if instead of resisting the uncertainty, you trusted it? What if you believed that every step, every setback, every unexpected turn was part of a bigger plan that you just couldn't see yet? Looking ahead, the future always seems unclear. It's like standing in the middle of a storm, unable to see the sun behind the clouds. But looking back, you begin to understand that every experience, good or bad, was leading you somewhere. The failures, the missed opportunities, the struggles, they weren't obstacles, they were pieces of a larger puzzle that only makes sense when you connect the dots in hindsight. Difficulties are not meant to break you, they are meant to shape you. Every challenge you face, every setback you endure, and every moment of uncertainty is preparing you for something greater. It may not feel that way when you're struggling, but if you look closely, you'll see that the hardest moments in life often lead to the biggest transformations. The struggles refine you, strengthen you, and push you beyond your limits. It's easy to have faith when everything is going smoothly, but real faith is tested when things don't go as planned, when you face rejection, failure, or disappointment. In those moments, you have two choices: to let the pain define you or to let it build you. The strongest people, the ones who leave a mark on the world, are not those who never fail, but those who refuse to give up despite failure. Imagine if every difficulty you face was not a roadblock, but a stepping stone. What if every failure was a lesson pushing you toward success? The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't luck. It's the ability to keep going, to keep learning, and to keep believing, even when nothing makes sense. The toughest challenges often come right before the greatest breakthroughs. So when you feel like life is testing you, don't lose faith. You are being prepared for something bigger, something you might not yet understand. Fear has a way of creeping in when things don't go as planned. It whispers doubts in your mind, making you question your abilities, your decisions, and even your dreams. When challenges arise, fear tells you to quit, to play it safe, to stop believing. But fear is a liar. It magnifies problems and blinds you from seeing what's truly possible. In those moments when uncertainty feels overwhelming, there is only one thing that can guide you forward: faith. Faith is not about knowing exactly how things will work out. It's about believing that they will, even when you can't see the path ahead. It's trusting that every setback has a purpose, that every delay is part of the journey, and that every difficulty is shaping you into the person you need to become. The most successful and visionary people in the world didn't have a perfect roadmap. They took risks. They faced failures, but they never stopped believing. They didn't allow fear to control them. They allowed faith to lead them. It's easy to believe in yourself when everything is going well, but the true test of faith comes when you face obstacles that seem impossible to overcome, when the doors keep closing, when the results don't match your effort, when you feel like you're standing at the edge of failure. That is the moment when you have to decide, will you let fear win or will you hold on to faith? Every great success story was once filled with uncertainty, rejection, and hardship. The difference between those who rise and those who fall is not intelligence, luck, or talent. It is the ability to keep going when everything says stop. So when doubt tries to shake you, remind yourself why you started. When fear tries to hold you back, choose faith over fear. Keep pushing forward, keep believing, and never forget that the only limits that exist are the ones you accept. Life has a way of surprising us. You plan, you work hard, you do everything right, and yet things don't always go the way you expect. An opportunity you were counting on slips away. A project you poured your heart into fails. A door you desperately wanted to open stays shut. In those moments, it's easy to feel like you've hit a dead end. But what if that setback wasn't the end at all? What if it was just a redirection towards something even better? So often we become fixated on what we think is best for us. We chase after goals, convinced that they are the only path to success. But sometimes life has a bigger plan when we can't see in the moment. What feels like rejection might actually be protection. What feels like failure might be setting the stage for something greater. The roadblocks, the delays, the detours, they are not meant to break you. They are meant to lead you to where you truly belong. Think about the moments in your life where things didn't go as planned. At the time, it felt like a disaster. But looking back, can you see how those very moments pushed you toward a different path, one that turned out to be better? That's the power of faith. When one door closes, it doesn't mean you're not meant to succeed. It means you are being guided toward a different opportunity, one that will challenge you, grow you, and prepare you for what's next. The most successful people in the world didn't get to where they are by following a straight, easy path. They faced rejection, failure, and unexpected turns. But they never lost faith in the journey. They trusted that every closed door was leading them to the right one. So when life redirects you, don't resist it, embrace it. Keep believing, keep moving forward, and trust that even if the path is unclear now, one day you'll look back and realize it was leading you exactly where you needed to be. The world is full of voices telling you what you can and cannot do. Some will doubt your dreams, question your abilities, and try to convince you that you're not capable. Sometimes the loudest voice of doubt will come from within. But the one thing that separates those who achieve greatness from those who give up is an unshakable belief in themselves. If you don't believe in your vision, who will?